In a quiet Chicago suburb, Scarlett Ross, 28, is torn from her home by strangers in white coats. Her husband Ethan is missing, and no one explains why she's being confined. As she's forced into a van, a chilling truth strikes. Someone wants her erased. But Scarlett's resolve is unbreakable. She's ready to unravel a conspiracy threatening her life, fighting back with fierce determination in a battle for justice. There is one detail that only the attentive notice. Did you notice? Like and subscribe. It will be more interesting later. Scarlett Ross's world crumbled in a heartbeat. Dawn's light seeped through the blinds of her Lincoln Park home, painting faint shadows on the oak floor. At 28, she was the heir to Bennett Technologies, a Chicago-based AI empire forged by her father, William Bennett. His death in a yacht accident 6 months ago had left her shattered, but she'd leaned on her husband, Ethan Caldwell, for solace. That morning, though, Ethan was gone. No note, no call. Scarlett's coffee mug shook as she dialed his phone, only to hit voicemail. A sharp rap at the door jolted her. Opening it, she faced two men in stark white scrubs, their expressions icy. "Mrs. Ross, you're coming with us," one said, his tone flat but unyielding. Bewilderment gripped her. "What? Where's Ethan?" she demanded, retreating. The second man's grip clamped her arm, yanking her toward an unmarked van in the driveway. "It's for your safety," he grunted, brushing off her cries. Neighbors peered from windows, but none stepped in as Scarlett's shouts rang through the street. Inside the van, disinfectant's sharp tang burned her nostrils. Her heart thundered as she hammered the tinted windows, her pleas ignored. The driver's cold eyes met hers in the mirror, offering no comfort. "Where are you taking me?" she yelled, voice breaking. Silence. The van wove through Chicago's lively streets, past Lake Michigan's gleam, toward an unknown fate. Fear clawed at her, yet a spark of defiance flared. Whoever orchestrated this hadn't counted on her strength. The van halted at a looming gray building on the city's edge, its barbed wire fences menacing. The sign read, "Silverwood Psychiatric Center," but it screamed prison. Inside, bleach and a sour odor hung heavy. Nurses moved with robotic efficiency, dodging Scarlett's gaze. A tall man in a white coat approached, his smile unnervingly serene. "I'm Dr. Gregory Vance, director," he said, offering a hand she ignored. "You're safe now, Mrs. Ross." "Safe?" Scarlett's voice quaked with fury. "I was dragged from my home. Where's my husband? Why am I here?" Dr. Vance's smile held. "Your husband raised concerns about your mental state after your father's death. He fears you're a danger to yourself." The words stung like a betrayal. Ethan? Her Ethan, who'd soothed her through grief's darkest nights. Doubt twisted her insides, but she stayed composed. "That's a lie. I want to speak to him now." Dr. Vance sighed, patronizing. "That's not an option. For your own good, contact is restricted." He handed her gray clothes. "Change. We'll discuss treatment soon." Treatment? Scarlett's mind raced. This wasn't care. It was a trap. Led to a barren room with beige walls and a lone bed, the fluorescent buzz heightened her dread. The door's lock clicked shut. Alone, Scarlett paced, dissecting Vance's words. Ethan had never questioned her sanity, never hinted at this. Her father's death had crushed her, but she'd coped, running his charity, battling in Bennett Technologies' boardroom. The company was her birthright, and she'd fought for it. Was that the motive? Her father's will named her sole heir, sidelining Ethan and his scheming mother, Vivian Caldwell. Scarlett's stomach knotted. Vivian's cold stare at the funeral, her grip too firm. Had it been a ploy? Days blurred. Nurses brought pills, claiming they'd calm her. Scarlett resisted, but a nurse's glare and restraint threats forced compliance. The drugs fogged her mind, dulling her senses. Tasteless meals and the ward's eerie quiet barely registered. Nightmares twisted Ethan's smile into a sneer. Was he complicit? Or was Vivian the puppet master? The unknown tormented her, but one truth held. She had to escape. One night, in the common room for a supervised meal, a woman sat opposite Scarlett. Her dark hair was messy, but her green eyes burned. "I'm Claire Morgan," she whispered, eyeing the nurses. "You don't belong here." Scarlett tensed, wary of a trap. Claire leaned in, voice low. "This isn't just for the unstable. People land here when someone wants them gone. Ring a bell?" Scarlett's pulse surged. "Who's they?" she asked. Claire's smile was grim. "The ones paid to silence you. I've seen it. I was a whistleblower exposed to Chicago hospital scam. Now I'm crazy. But you? You threatened someone powerful." She nodded at the nurse's station. "We can escape, but you must trust me." Scarlett's thoughts swirled. Trust a stranger? Risk it all? Yet Claire's words resonated, and the drug haze was fading. "What's the plan?" she whispered, voice firm. Claire's eyes glinted. "I've escaped before. Night guards are careless. I've tracked their patterns. We move in 3 days at midnight shift change. I'll distract them. You hit the maintenance exit." Scarlett's heart raced. 3 days to rally strength sapped by drugs. As Claire blended back into the patients, hope surged. But a chilling doubt crept in. If Claire knew so much, why was she still trapped? Was she a savior or part of the scheme? Scarlett Ross clung to the sliver of hope Claire Morgan had ignited, but doubt gnawed at her. In the sterile confines of Silverwood Psychiatric Center, time dragged under the weight of sedatives and suspicion. The beige walls and incessant buzz of fluorescent lights felt like a cage designed to erode her spirit. Claire's plan, escape in 3 days during the midnight shift change, sounded plausible, but Scarlett's instincts screamed caution. Was Claire a genuine ally or a plant sent to test her resolve? Each day, Scarlett fought the fog of medication. She'd begun hiding the pills under her tongue, spitting them out when the nurses turned away. Her mind sharpened, though her body ached from withdrawal. During meals, Claire whispered details. The maintenance exit was unguarded for 5 minutes at midnight, and the outer fence had a weak spot near the delivery bay. Scarlett memorized every word, but Claire's nonchalance unnerved her. "Why help me?" Scarlett asked one evening, her voice low as they sat in the common room. Claire's eyes flicked to the nurse's station. "Because you're not like the others. You've got something they're scared of, power, money, or secrets. Plus, I owe someone." Her cryptic reply only deepened Scarlett's unease. Who did Claire owe, and why? The whistleblower story checked out, but Scarlett sensed layers Claire wasn't sharing. Still, with no other options, she played along, mapping the plan in her mind. The night before the escape, Scarlett overheard 2 nurses in the hallway. "The Caldwell woman's pushing for heavier doses," one muttered. "Says Ross is too lucid." Scarlett's blood ran cold. Vivian Caldwell, Ethan's mother, was pulling strings from afar. The realization hit hard. This wasn't just about her inheritance. Vivian wanted her silenced permanently. But why? What did Scarlett know, or possess, that threatened the Caldwells so deeply? At midnight, the plan unfolded. Claire staged a commotion, knocking over a cart of medical supplies near the nurses' station. The crash echoed through the halls, drawing guards like moths to a flame. Scarlett slipped from the common room, her pulse pounding as she clutched a stolen key card Claire had swiped days earlier. The card's edges dug into her palm, a reminder of the stakes. She crept down the dim corridor, the air thick with tension. Every creak of the floorboards felt like a betrayal. The maintenance exit loomed ahead, its rusted handle a beacon of freedom. Scarlett swiped the key card, her breath hitching as the lock clicked open. But as she pushed the door, an alarm blared, shattering the silence. Her heart sank. Claire hadn't mentioned alarms. Had she been set up? Footsteps thundered behind her, guards shouting, "Stop her! Panic surged, but Scarlett bolted into the night, the Chicago air sharp against her skin. She sprinted toward the fence, her legs burning from disuse. Flashlights swept the darkness, grazing her heels. The weak spot Claire described, a gap beneath the fence, was there, but tighter than expected. Scarlett dove to the ground, clawing through dirt and gravel, her nails splitting as she squeezed under. A guard's hand grazed her ankle, but she kicked free, scrambling to her feet on the other side. Behind her, Claire's voice rang out defiant. "Run, Scarlett! Don't look back!" Scarlett hesitated, guilt twisting her gut. Claire was surrounded, guards closing in. Had she sacrificed herself, or was this part of a deeper game? No time to dwell. Scarlett ran, the city's distant skyline her only guide. She ducked into alleys, weaving through Chicago's gritty outskirts, her heart pounding with every siren. The drug's lingering haze made her vision swim, but adrenaline kept her moving. She had to survive, if only to uncover the truth. For 2 days, Scarlett hid in the shadows of Chicago's South Side, scavenging food from dumpsters and dodging passers-by. Every noise, a car horn, a stranger's laugh, sent her diving for cover. The city, once her home, now felt like a labyrinth of threats. Her mind raced with questions. Where was Ethan? Had he betrayed her, or was he a pawn in Vivian's scheme? And what secret was worth locking her away? The answer, she suspected, lay with Bennett Technologies. On the 3rd day, desperation drove her to a payphone in a rundown diner. She'd scraped together change from street corners, her pride swallowed by necessity. Her fingers trembled as she dialed Matthew Hayes, her father's trusted lawyer, and a friend who'd stood by her during the will's reading. "Bennett Technologies, how may I assist?" the receptionist chirped. Scarlett's voice was hoarse. "This is Anna Reed. I need Matthew Hayes urgently. Tell him it's about William Bennett." The line clicked to hold, and Scarlett's nerves frayed. If Matthew doubted her, she was done. When his voice came through, steady, cautious, she nearly collapsed. "This is Matthew Hayes." Scarlett gripped the receiver. "Matthew, it's Scarlett. Don't say my name aloud. I'm in trouble." A long pause followed, papers rustling. "Scarlett? Where are you? Everyone thinks—" She cut him off. "I can't explain here. Meet me at Washington Park near the fountain at dusk. Come alone and don't tell Ethan or Vivian." Matthew hesitated, his tone wary. "Are you okay? What's going on?" Scarlett's voice cracked. "Please, just trust me. They locked me in a psych ward, drugged me, said I was unstable. It's a lie, Matthew. Ethan and Vivian did this." Another pause, then a firm, "All right. Washington Park, dusk. I'll be there." Relief flooded her, but fear lingered. If Matthew betrayed her, she'd have nowhere left to turn. At dusk, Scarlett hid near Washington Park's fountain, her tattered clothes blending with the shadows. Matthew arrived alone, his trench coat flapping in the breeze. She watched him scan the area, his face etched with concern. Stepping out, she startled him. "Scarlett," he whispered, eyes wide. "My God, what happened?" She motioned to a secluded bench, her voice low. "They took everything, Matthew. Ethan and Vivian had me committed, drugged, to steal my father's company. I escaped. But I need your help." Matthew's jaw tightened as she recounted her ordeal, the van, Silverwood, Claire's sacrifice. "Why would they do this?" he asked, disbelief lacing his voice. Scarlett's eyes burned. "It's not just the money. There's something else. Something about Bennett Technologies they don't want me to know." Matthew nodded slowly. "Your father was working on a project before he died. He kept it quiet, even from me. If Vivian's involved, it's bigger than we thought." He leaned forward, resolute. "We need evidence, Scarlett. I have a contact, Lucas Reed, a former FBI agent turned investigator. He can dig into this, but you need to stay hidden. Scarlett's hope flickered, but a new fear surfaced. Matthew was her lifeline, but his mention of a secret project raised questions. Was he fully on her side, or did he know more than he let on? As they parted, Scarlett's resolve hardened. She'd uncover the truth, no matter who stood in her way. Scarlett Ross huddled in the dim glow of a Chicago street lamp, the weight of Matthew Hayes' words echoing in her mind. A secret project tied to Bennett Technologies, her father's final endeavor, might hold the key to her ordeal. Hidden in a modest safe house Matthew had arranged, a small apartment in Pilsen's artist district, Scarlett felt the walls closing in. The city's pulse thrummed outside, but she was a ghost, cut off from her life. Every creak of the floorboards made her jump, fearing Silverwood's guards had tracked her. Matthew had promised answers, enlisting Lucas Reed, a former FBI agent with a knack for uncovering corporate conspiracies. But trust was a luxury Scarlett could barely afford. Matthew's loyalty seemed genuine, yet his vague mention of her father's project stirred unease. Was he protecting her, or steering her toward a truth he already knew? As she paced the apartment, cluttered with second-hand furniture and the faint smell of paint, Scarlett vowed to unravel the mystery herself. The next morning, Matthew arrived with Lucas, a man whose sharp eyes and weathered leather jacket screamed experience. He carried a briefcase bulging with files, his presence both reassuring and intimidating. "Scarlett, I've spent days digging into Bennett Technologies," Lucas began, spreading documents across the chipped kitchen table. "Your father wasn't just building AI. He was developing a revolutionary encryption protocol, codenamed Sentinel. It could secure global data networks worth billions." Scarlett's breath caught. "Sentinel?" He never mentioned it. Lucas nodded grimly. "He kept it under wraps, even from his board. Only a few knew. Your father, his lead engineer, and apparently Vivian Caldwell." Scarlett's stomach twisted. Vivian, Ethan's mother, had been a silent partner in Bennett Technologies, her influence subtle but pervasive. "Vivian wanted control of Sentinel," Lucas continued. "With you out of the picture, she and Ethan could sell it to the highest bidder. Foreign investors, maybe worse." Lucas slid a document forward, a forged psychiatric evaluation signed by Dr. Catherine Holt, claiming Scarlett suffered from paranoid delusions post her father's death. "This got you committed," he said. "Holt's on Vivian's payroll, and the court order came from Judge Robert Klein, known for bending rules for the right price." Another photo showed Ethan meeting Dr. Gregory Vance, Silverwood's director, days before Scarlett's abduction. The betrayal stung anew, but a darker question loomed. Was Ethan a willing player or Vivian's pawn? The evidence piled up. Bank records showing Vivian's payments to Vance, emails between Ethan and Holt discussing Scarlett's treatment. But one file stopped Scarlett cold, a memo from her father dated a week before his yacht accident. "Sentinel must never fall into the wrong hands," it read. "If I'm compromised, protect Scarlett." Her hands trembled. Was his death an accident or something more sinister? The thought chilled her, but Lucas cautioned, "We need proof. Accusing Vivian of murder without evidence is a dead end." Scarlett's resolve hardened. "Then we get proof. I'm not letting them erase me or my father's legacy." Lucas outlined a plan. Infiltrate Bennett Technologies servers to find Sentinel's files, which could expose Vivian's endgame. Matthew, with his access as the company's lawyer, would help. But the risk was steep. A wrong move could alert Vivian, or worse, Ethan. Scarlett agreed, but a nagging doubt lingered. Lucas's efficiency felt too perfect. Had Matthew hired him too quickly? That night, Scarlett couldn't sleep, her mind replaying her father's memo. She scoured the safe house for clues, finding a hidden USB drive taped under a drawer, a gift from her father years ago. Plugging it into an old laptop Matthew had provided, she found encrypted files labeled Sentinel. Her heart raced. Had her father left her the key to his project? But decrypting it required expertise she didn't have. She needed Matthew and Lucas, yet sharing this find felt like a gamble. What if one of them was playing her? The next day, Matthew arranged a covert meeting at a diner near the Loop. Lucas brought a hacker contact, Mia, who could crack the USB's encryption. As Mia worked, Scarlett watched Matthew closely. His concern seemed real, but a glance he shared with Lucas felt off, too familiar, too guarded. Mia's laptop chimed, revealing Sentinel's blueprint, a protocol that could lock or unlock any network globally. "This is why Vivian wants you gone," Mia said. "You're the only one who can activate it." Scarlett's mind spun. Activate it? Her father had never hinted at this responsibility. Before she could process, Lucas's phone buzzed. His face darkened as he read the message. "We've got a problem," he said. "Vivian's moving fast. She's selling Sentinel to an offshore buyer tonight." Scarlett's pulse surged. They had hours to act, but a worse blow landed. Lucas revealed Matthew had been in contact with Ethan, claiming it was to monitor him. Scarlett's trust wavered. Had Matthew been playing both sides? Confronting him, Scarlett's voice was steel. "Did you tell Ethan I'm free?" Matthew's eyes widened. "No, Scarlett, I swear. I was fishing for info to protect you." His sincerity clashed with her instincts. Lucas intervened, urging focus. "We hit Bennett Technologies now, or Sentinel's gone." Scarlett nodded, but her heart pounded with a new fear. She was walking into a trap, and the traitor might be closer than she thought. As they left the diner, Chicago's skyline loomed, a reminder of the empire and the truth she had to reclaim. Scarlett Ross stood in the shadows of a Chicago alley, the distant hum of the city masking her racing heartbeat. The revelation of Sentinel's power and Matthew Hayes' questionable contact with Ethan Caldwell had fractured her trust. Tonight, she, Matthew, Lucas Reed, and hacker Mia were set to infiltrate Bennett Technologies' headquarters in the Loop to secure evidence of Vivian Caldwell's plan to sell the encryption protocol. But Scarlett's instincts screamed betrayal. Was Matthew leading her to victory or into a trap? The plan was precise. Mia would hack the server room, Matthew would use his lawyer credentials to bypass security, and Lucas would monitor for Vivian's operatives. Scarlett's role was to verify Sentinel's files, her unique access tied to her father's design. As they approached the sleek glass tower, Lake Michigan's reflection shimmered in its facade, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within Scarlett. She clutched the USB drive, her father's last gift, its encrypted secrets her only leverage. Inside, the lobby's marble floors gleamed under soft lights. Matthew flashed his ID, charming the night guard with practiced ease. Scarlett's pulse quickened as they rode the elevator to the 30th floor. Mia whispered, "Security's light, but Vivian's got private muscle. Stay sharp." The server room's hum greeted them, rows of blinking machines casting an eerie glow. Mia plugged in her laptop, her fingers flying. "I'm in," she said. "Sentinel's files are here, but they're tagged for transfer tonight." Scarlett's stomach churned. Vivian was steps ahead, her deal with an offshore buyer imminent. As Mia downloaded the files, Scarlett accessed a terminal, entering her father's override code from the USB. The screen flashed. "Sentinel activation key, authorized user, Scarlett Ross." Her breath hitched. Her father had embedded her biometric data into the protocol, making her its gatekeeper. But why hadn't he told her? The weight of his trust and the danger it brought pressed down. A sudden clang echoed from the hallway. Lucas tensed, drawing a flashlight. "We've got company," he hissed. Scarlett's heart raced as Matthew moved toward the door, his face unreadable. "Stay here," he said, slipping out. Suspicion flared. Had he tipped someone off? Mia's screen pinged, revealing an email from Vivian to Ethan. "Ross is loose. Secure Sentinel before she ruins everything." Scarlett's blood ran cold. Ethan knew she'd escaped, and Matthew's monitoring felt like a lie. Before she could act, the door burst open. Two men in dark suits stormed in, their eyes locking on Scarlett. "Hand over the drive!" one growled. Lucas tackled one, shouting, "Mia, keep downloading!" Scarlett dodged the second, her mind racing. Where was Matthew? As she ducked behind a server rack, the USB slipped from her grip, skittering across the floor. The man lunged for it, but Scarlett dove, grabbing it first. A gunshot rang out, not from the intruders, but from the doorway. Matthew stood there, a small pistol in hand, the second man collapsing, clutching his leg. "Scarlett, move!" he yelled. Shock froze her. Was Matthew saving her, or staging a rescue to earn her trust? Lucas subdued the other intruder, zip-tying his hands. Mia's laptop chimed. Download complete. They had Sentinel's files, but the gunfire would draw more guards. "We're out of time," Lucas said, hauling Scarlett toward the emergency exit. Matthew followed, his expression grim. They fled down the stairwell, the building's alarms blaring. Scarlett's mind spun. Matthew's shot had saved her, but his secrecy about Ethan gnawed at her. At the ground floor, Lucas hot-wired a company van, and they sped into Chicago's neon-lit streets. In the back seat, Scarlett confronted Matthew. "You knew Ethan was onto me. Why didn't you warn me?" Matthew's jaw tightened. "I was protecting you. Ethan's desperate. Vivian's got him on a leash. I fed him scraps to keep him off your trail." His words rang hollow. Scarlett's voice was ice. "No more lies, Matthew. Are you with me? Or them?" He met her gaze, his eyes pleading. "I swore to your father I'd protect you. I'm not perfect, but I'm on your side." Lucas interrupted. "Save it. We've got bigger problems. Vivian's buyer is meeting her at a warehouse in Westtown now." Scarlett gripped the USB. If Vivian sold Sentinel, her father's legacy and global security would be lost. At the warehouse, they parked in the shadows. Through a grimy window, Scarlett saw Vivian, poised and ruthless, negotiating with a man in a tailored suit. Ethan stood nearby, his face pale, hands twitching. Scarlett's heart twisted. Part of her still ached for the man she'd loved, but his betrayal was undeniable. Lucas whispered, "We record this, get it to the feds. No violence, just evidence." Mia set up a hidden camera, its feed streaming to Lucas's secure server. As the deal unfolded, a new figure emerged. Dr. Gregory Vance, Silverwood's director. Scarlett's breath caught. Vance wasn't just Vivian's pawn. He was brokering the sale, his calm demeanor masking a predator's Moscow. The buyer handed Vivian a briefcase, but Vance's presence tied Silverwood to the conspiracy. Scarlett's resolve surged. She'd expose them all. But as Mia's camera rolled, a guard spotted them. Lucas shoved Scarlett behind a crate, whispering, "Stay low." The guard raised an alarm, and Vivian's buyer fled. Ethan's eyes met Scarlett's through the chaos, wide with panic. "Scarlett!" he gasped, stepping toward her. Vivian's shout cut him off. "Get her!" Scarlett's world tilted. Ethan's hesitation. Was it guilt or another lie? As guards closed in, she faced a choice: confront him or run to protect Sentinel. Scarlett Ross crouched behind a crate in the Westtown warehouse, her heart pounding as Vivian Caldwell's guards closed in. Ethan's shocked gaze lingered on her, his whispered "Scarlett," echoing with guilt or deception. She couldn't tell. The USB drive, holding Sentinel's secrets, burned in her pocket. Lucas Reed, Mia, and Matthew Hayes were her only allies, but the sting of Matthew's secrecy and the chaos of the botched deal tested her resolve. This was her last chance to reclaim her life and her father's legacy. Vivian's voice cut through the din, sharp and commanding. "Find her! She can't leave with that drive!" Dr. Gregory Vance, Silverwood's director, stood beside her, his calm facade cracking as the buyer's car sped away. Mia's hidden camera still streamed, capturing every word, a lifeline to justice if they could escape. Lucas whispered, "We've got enough. Get to the van." But Scarlett's eyes locked on Ethan, his hesitation a crack in Vivian's armor. Could she turn him? Or was he too far gone? A guard lunged, and Scarlett dove, rolling behind another crate. Matthew fired a warning shot into the ceiling, scattering the guards. "Move, Scarlett!" he shouted. She sprinted toward the exit, Lucas and Mia ahead, but Ethan's voice stopped her. "Scarlett, wait! I didn't want this." She spun, fury and pain colliding. "You locked me away, Ethan. You chose her." His face crumpled. "Vivian said it was temporary to protect you. I was weak. I'm sorry." His words felt sincere, but Scarlett's trust was ash. Vivian's sneer interrupted. "Enough, Ethan. She's a liability." She signaled Vance, who drew a phone, likely calling reinforcements. Scarlett's mind raced. Running was safe, but confronting them now could end this. She stepped forward, voice steady. "It's over, Vivian. The feds have your deal on tape. Sentinel's sale, the bribes, Silverwood. You're done." Vivian's eyes narrowed, but a flicker of fear betrayed her. Ethan paled, stepping back. Lucas grabbed Scarlett's arm. "We need to go, now!" But a new sound froze them. Sirens, closing fast. Mia's feed had reached Lucas's FBI contact, and Chicago PD was descending. Vivian's composure shattered. She shoved Vance toward the back exit. "Handle this!" she hissed. Vance bolted, but Ethan didn't move, his eyes on Scarlett. "I'll testify," he whispered. "I'll tell them everything." Scarlett's heart twisted. His betrayal had broken her, but his choice now might redeem him. Police swarmed the warehouse, their shouts drowning out Vivian's protests. Officers cuffed her as she spat venom, her elegance replaced by desperation. "You'll regret this, Scarlett," she snarled. Scarlett stood tall, unflinching. "No, you will." Ethan surrendered willingly, his head bowed as an officer led him away. Scarlett's gaze lingered on him, a mix of sorrow and resolve. He'd face justice, but his confession could bury Vivian and Vance. At the precinct, Scarlett handed the USB and Mia's footage to Agent Carter, Lucas's contact. The evidence was damning. Vivian's emails, Vance's payments, the forged psychiatric report by Dr. Catherine Holt, and Judge Robert Klein's corrupt order. Carter's team traced Sentinel's files, confirming Vivian's plan to sell it to a rogue foreign entity, a national security breach. Scarlett's father's memo, warning of Sentinel's power, sealed the case. Her role as its activator made her testimony critical. The trial was a media storm, Chicago's skyline framing the courthouse where Scarlett faced Vivian, Vance, and their co-conspirators. Ethan took the stand, his voice breaking as he detailed Vivian's manipulation, from the fake diagnosis to Silverwood's sedation protocols. "I thought I was saving her," he said, avoiding Scarlett's gaze. The jury didn't buy it. His complicity was clear. Vivian's defiance crumbled under cross-examination, her lies unraveling as Scarlett's evidence held firm. The verdict came swiftly. Vivian and Vance were convicted of conspiracy, fraud, and false imprisonment, facing decades behind bars. Ethan received a lighter sentence for cooperating, but his career and freedom were shattered. Holt and Klein were disbarred, their licenses revoked. Silverwood was shut down, its patients freed, including Claire Morgan, whose whistleblower past Scarlett helped vindicate. The courtroom's silence as the gavel fell was deafening. Justice, hard won, was hers. Scarlett stood outside the courthouse, Lake Michigan's breeze cleansing the weight of months. Matthew, cleared of suspicion, approached. "Your father would be proud," he said. Scarlett nodded, clutching the USB, now a symbol of her victory. She'd safeguard Sentinel, ensuring Bennett Technologies honored her father's vision. The scars of betrayal lingered, but so did her strength. Vivian and Ethan had tried to erase her, but Scarlett Ross was unbreakable. As she walked through Chicago's bustling streets, the city's energy mirrored her own. She'd faced lies, doubt, and danger, but emerged whole, her father's legacy secure. The moral choice, to fight lawfully, to trust sparingly, had prevailed. Vivian's greed and Ethan's weakness had cost them everything, while Scarlett's resilience had rebuilt her life. She glanced at the horizon, a new chapter dawning, knowing she'd never let anyone dim her light again.